God damn, I love that song. A very timeless classic. Welcome back to another chapter of Final Kombat. We are at the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. Armageddon is truly upon us, and we're on our way en route to Edenia. Last time, Fusion and Raiden were actually having a pep talk with each other, last pep talk, as Raiden made last preparations with Aiko's heart gems to alert the Shaolin on what's ahead. And some of the combatants actually participated. Those who passed the trials, the tester trials, have participated in the Edenian soiree so that they can be ready for the journey to the Pyramid of Argus. And Kung Lao was actually having his last moments with Aiko before he left with Fusion, and Raiden actually made a surprise reveal onto Liu Kang and Kitana, who were in the Dragon Grotto. And Raiden actually electrocuted the Edenian, much to Liu Kang's dismay, because he had a plan going for him and Kitana. And there was a surprise reveal as Raiden actually merged with Liu Kang. And if you've seen MK11, you would know this. So, being that a mortal can't withstand Blaze, Raiden actually had this crazy idea. And Bi-Han actually had this lecture with Ashura and Serena, and how he must change his ways, put aside his discrepancies for Armageddon. So we are at the final stretch, guys. I got 3 chapters to go. It's like the final episodes with the series finale. So let's get into it, shall we? I can't wait to get this over with. Alright, continuation 11, climax. The combatants were making their first preps for the Battle of Armageddon as the Edenia Palace throne room, gathering their cobalt armor, whatever their most advanced coverings they had in store from the special forces. Even all the heroes were sharing each of Aiko's heart gems for an extra ounce of strength or revitalization provided by the Shaolin. Dawn was about to break in an orange sliver, as if from blaze within the opaque sky. This is it, fellow warriors. Asgarth was the first to speak. Wherever Kitana, Raiden, and Lu would be, they would surely meet with all of you, and if we should ever survive Armageddon, the powers of the protector god of Edenia shall be passed down to you, Taven. Needless to say, he was speechless. All the Hawk Noble did was knight him. Go forth, and lead all realms to victory. They bowed to each other. What of Liu Kang and Lord Raiden? Lao rang with anxiety and angst. Do not fret, Kung Lao, Fu Shin assured. They were champions. I know they would never miss Armageddon for the realms. They and Kitana would show up in due time. Girl stepped closer, laid a firm, calloused hand on his shoulder. Our champions shall not falter. They will show up and fight alongside us. They cannot possibly back down now, and I am honored to have the chance to fight with you. I'm glad to finally return the favor, and for your ancestors as well. With that, as if a great weight was lifted from his shoulders, Lao bowed low. Much obliged, Prince Goro. General Sonya walked to the group. We're ready. Taven lifted his heavy head. Let's go. To the Pyramid of Argus. We must make haste if we should march there and make our preemptive strike. Who says we need to march there? Baraka and Chameleon shone up from the entryway. We will use our own ship instead. Come with us. So, Edenia's got his new airship. The troops went to a distant hidden chamber, and the lock was just beneath a candlestick. The passage was unlocked, and through a couple corridors they beheld a large airship that had the same features as the Nether ship, once used by Shang. The curved head was the bow, the elongated tail was the stern, and a pair of foldable wyvern wings descended to the sides. Welcome to the Nether Wing. Everyone was agog. You must have drawn inspiration from the dragonfly, Kenshi said, so you can read minds. Then together, let us begin, Fu Shin ordered. Asgarth made one final prayer. May the Elder Gods protect you all. Fu Shin offered to give a head start as his aerokinesis activated the rotors, with Chameleon navigating it. The hatch opened from the side of a tower, and soon the advanced airship lifted off. It almost felt like an hour, but the crew were soaring for about 30 minutes. Jade broke the silence. We planned on constructing this after Onaga's been sealed away. We shall approach the crater within a matter of minutes. They're arriving sooner. It's about time, especially when making quite the entrance. It was Chameleon, the female. Took me long enough to find this vessel, and if it weren't for her, I may have perished from our enemies. And it was Melina! What on God's name is she doing here? The Saurian rose a hand. Damn, sorry for the interruption, guys. The Saurian, a female Saurian, rose a hand. Stay back! It'd be too foolish if she should ever fight us now. As if Kintaro wasn't shocking enough. She's only here to fight for her family. Sindel and Gerard were hit with an epiphany. Daughter! She went to her long-lost parents, first to her father who embraced her tightly, and then to her mother who did the same and gave her a peck in the face, nearly in tears. Kitana may not recall Melina being her biological sister. Shao Kahn must have erased her memories, just as he did to us. Only Taven, the Chameleons, and Baraka believed in Melina's good intentions, unlike the majority of the group. It was hard for me too. Shiva assured Kintaro shan't be a turncoat, as she and Goro educated him of Khan's treachery. I wonder where Kitana is in all of this, Sindel wondered. Jade and Gerard shared her distress. Even Melina, for once, was composed with concern. She must still have the Tarkatan illness. She just might be one of us. Taven abruptly vanished within a burst of flame. All the combatants startled. Taven! Taven! He just dissipated! And this would be the final battle here.
Well done, Taven.
Daegon.
I was hoping Scorpion would kill you and spare me the effort, but it looks as though I will have to finish you myself. Blaze! Why did you interfere?
The quest has been corrupted. All did not go exactly as my creator had foreseen it. You are in the wrong location. I will transport you to the rim of the crater where the final battle will take place. The quest will conclude when one of you defeats me there in combat. We must make haste. Many warriors are gathering. If I am defeated by one of them, they will steal the prize and the true purpose of the quest will have failed. Armageddon will be upon you all.
I want nothing to do with this quest. My business is with Daegon.
No choice. We are all bound to the quest. The fate of the realms will be decided today.
Then let's get this over with. I have waited an eternity for this moment.
When this is over, I am going to finish you. How did we... Daegon!
You used to be faster than me. Last time we raced through Father's temple, I believe you won. Seems like only yesterday.
It was yesterday.
I suppose it was. For you. But I was awakened prematurely. Over the millennia, I've grown much faster, much stronger. This time, my victory is assured.
The only thing that is assured is that you will pay for killing Mother and Father.
So you know. Yes, I killed them. I had to. Lord Shinnok warned me that they had decided to assist you.
You killed them over the prize?
With the very weapons Father gave us to use against Blaze. And now I will use them to destroy you. Fight!
Well, definitely, this is definitely a crucial battle here. And due to copyrights, I can't play that song, so maybe I'll give a description of the battle song I had with the two brothers. The Symphony of Destruction. Huge classic. Taven put up his dukes as he drew out his new weapon, the same blade he found in Argus's temple at the start of his journey. Daegon actually struck first, as he ran and sicked his swords onto his older brother. Taven just countered with a fireball, hitting dead center. Stunned, he lunged, in which Daegon blocked and made a pyro uppercut after he rolled. Taven mimicked his move, but it missed, and Daegon knocked him down. He flipped onto his feet and Daegon rolled again, only this time Taven avoided the onslaught and tripped him as soon as he stood. Daegon stood up quickly and utilized his brawn as he grabbed and tossed Taven aside like a wrestler. This seemed to cause more of an impact as Taven wavered. It was a very lethal move from what I saw in Armageddon's conquest. So, stay alert. Still, he unleashed a fireball as Daegon closed the distance. He then lunged fast, which Daegon avoided, but not from another trip. He took out his twin Drake swords, which injured Taven greatly. His maneuvers became more aggressive and swifter, and he connected with him several times before Taven took out his own blade. There were some lethal combos, but it seemed Daegon was merciless, especially when he used his lethal throw once Taven was inches away. Daegon kept on the same strategy until for once, Taven collapsed. It is a tough fight, it really is, from what I saw. Just when he was lulled into thinking he won, Daegon witnessed a little bright red light took on the shape of a diamond. Oh no, the clock is gonna chime in. It was from that in which its energy seeped into Taven's shell. With a sudden jolt of energy, Taven felt it seep into him and lessen the enormous weight from his wounds and restart his heart and body. He gradually rose and crossed his blade for another round. Wow! It seems that Aiko's heart gem actually worked after all. It's about time. Great idea. And for once, it actually became Taven's backup. So, good on her part. So, here we are. Taven threw another fireball in which Daegon avoided with a roll before he had the chance to retaliate with a severe thrust. Taven did a brawny charge, taking him off his feet. Daegon's swift blades were nearly too much, even though Taven struck with a few combos in the center. Still, he was no match for Daegon's fatal throw. He needed to think of something quickly before he'd be at his brother's mercy. Determined to never fall to his arrogant younger sibling, he avoided his charges and countered with his brute strength. Daegon was desperate as he shot out his twin swords. Taven used his own, and they clanged with one another. His kick made Daegon back away, and Taven raged like a bull, pummeling him with rapid slices. Daegon's body began to ache, and it gave Taven an opening. Daegon hunched over for a few moments before he closed in. Since it was some wobbling, Taven continued to punish him with a fiery charge, but he thought better keeping his distance. He diced Daegon with a series of hits, making him relieve his double swords. With more vitality, courtesy of Aiko's heart gem, Daegon was losing energy and was unable to get pumped up and perform his fatal throw. Remembering the many assaults by the Red Dragon clan, enslaving Cairo, and the fact he'd slain his parents, Taven showed no mercy. He made several more strikes non-stop until Daegon was turned into a bloody fountain. All he did was just stand there, letting his treacherous brother succumb to his wounds before he collapsed in a heap. Processing Daegon's death, Taven just sulked. And he would play the cutscene.
Unfortunate. It was not intended that the brothers combat each other. Daegon has fallen. Now you must fulfill your obligation.
Obligation? The quest destroyed my family. Explain to me why I should care.
Your mother, my creator, foresaw the coming Armageddon. That through mortal combat, warriors would unknowingly tap into the very forces that make reality possible. Those warriors are in the crater below, engaged in mortal combat.
All of them? But with that many fighting in one place...
This crater will be the origin of the apocalypse unless something is done to prevent it. The Elder Gods had ordered your father to orchestrate a solution. He decided to kill them all when the time came, but your mother argued to merely strip the combatants of their special abilities. For some were heroes, undeserving of death. In the end, they conceived of a contest between you and her brother. The victor would unleash one of two solutions. Like a coin toss, one side would disarm the warriors. The other would destroy them all.
Which side of the coin am I?
It is unknown even to me. Your armor is the catalyst. The fate of the combatants will be revealed when our battle is done.
So by defeating you, I could be killing them all.
They are unimportant. Whichever outcome, you will be saving the realms. But you must not let anyone else combat me.
Then allow me to win, and we'll put an end to this.
No, Taven. I must act according to my creator's design. Take your sword, walk through the archway, and finish the quest. Face me in mortal combat!
A narrow wall of fire burst before blazes dissipated. All Taven did was wonder. "Now what do I do?" He whispered, remembering Orin's words and how the quest was indeed a setup all along, and that he and his brother were only puppets for that symphony of destruction, pun intended. Image of his new allies flashed before him, even the fact when Cairo was saved. Hearing the distant cries distracted his thoughts, and he looked down at Daegon's fallen body. Never wanting to lose anyone else, Taven took a deep breath before he walked over to his corpse and took out the longer sword he failed to notice during the quarrel. The tip actually imbued with a holy light as if blessed by the elder gods, and with it in his possession, Taven slowly trodden through the portal, and even looked over to the dragon heads, remembering Orin and Cairo, the only family he has left, to where it only took him to the other side. He gazed over the balcony, only observing the conflict. I failed to mention this was the trigger that made the Pyramid of Argus rise, so there's that, I guess. At the Yin-Yang Island, Cairo hung his head upon Daegon's demise. Daegon had this coming. He was too arrogant for his own good, like letting a wild beast never be tamed, and just be empowered by bloodlust. Everyone must choose their own destiny, Cairo, and Daegon chose this path, just before I lost my brother. It's now only up to Taven. The Edenian just hung her head in dread until an orange glow was seen in her peripheral vision. Good heavens! The quartet of spectators were then glued to the portal. The warriors landed the nether wing and noticed their enemies descend as they treaded down the steep slope. Everyone easily made out all the assailants, including some who were supposed to be obliterated back in the Red Dragon caverns. Uh-oh. We got some survivors here. So this is it! Melina for once was showing dire, as her eyes glazed and wrinkles appeared despite the vial. There is no turning back now, said Fusion. Only the Elder God should decide our fate, Sharad spoke as he adjusted his red and black attire symbolizing himself as Ermac. Shao Kahn and the others are down there, but we're ready for them, Sindel said. Please be with us, Katana, said Jade. Lau perspired. Please hurry, Master Raiden. We need you too, brother. Slowly but surely the heroes disembarked and slowly slid down the slopes. And this is normally where you would see Armageddon's intro, but I made a lot of changes here. So, they descended the crater as if formed by a devastating meteor. A lone vulture was pricking meat off a corpse and leaving its bones clean. The predator felt tremors marching towards it, and the scavenger soon flew away into the thick, opaque clouds, filled with dust with its gray and dark brown hues. The creature avoided the sights of a massive warrior wearing spiked shoulder plates, a cape, and horned helmet. It was Shao Kahn, the revived conqueror, as he roared and rose his arms, leading his tremendous faction into battle. On the other side, another faction gathered, as Kung Lao and Fusion led the charge toward them. Both walls of crusaders rushed into the crater, as if blindingly, never noticing the fiery funnel in the sky. Thunder began to crackle as the scorching display glowed like the sun. It soon ignited, and some of the spectators on the right side gazed up, to see a series of bolts descend onto a god with his white eyes illuminating. He gradually lowered his arms, wearing a determined and serious complexion, before he descended rapidly onto the crater. The impact was so sudden as if it belonged to a missile. The right wings unshielded their eyes as they beheld a series of embers, and the thick cloud of debris soon cleared, revealing the god of fire and thunder! The warriors cheered, some with raised fists, and continued to race toward the startled and vulnerable left-wingers. The fire god never wavered. As he marched toward the assailants, He then unleashed all his electrokinesis and on the collateral shock licked through some of them, the helpless infantry. His allies ran up to him and he did was commander them, "Stand back!" Just like in MK11, wound up like a pitcher before he let out his devastating streak of flame onto other waves of enemies, blasting them and the wounded asunder. All the brawlers stormed and were clashing in the melee. Oniro was first seen as he fought off Kwai, remembering his treachery and escape from the cyberized clan he created. The noble brother couldn't wait to smite him as soon as he saw him, justifying his henchman's worry. "So you have the dragon medallion. Then allow me to take it from you, and I'd be the rightful Grandmaster again." "Never!" They exchanged some blows and Kwai unleashed a blizzard in which Oniro's arms easily broke off the ice particles and continued to bash him without relent. Even without the sacred artifact, his might was still too much like how it was several years ago at the Appalachian Mountains. After sitting up from an injury, Kwai desperately fired another ice streak, only this time Oniro was surrounded. Frost and Bihan emerged, and the latter punched some of the shit out of him till he was dazed and confused. "If anyone should lead the Lin Kuei, it's my brother!" "You tell him, Bihan." And unlike MK1, he redeemed himself. For once. And maybe for only. Sector overmatched Cyrax and broke small portions of his armor. His brutal strength and endurance made some of Mustard's armor chip, and he mocked he shouldn't have quit on being an assassin. Broken in body and spirit, Cyrax was soon incapacitated. Not even the green net was able to keep Sector back, nor his bombs, not as fatal as his missiles. Blue oil leaked out of Cyrax as a thin streak of smoke escaped, stunned and vulnerable. Sector was about to unleash another fatal rocket till he was hit by one from the side. Smoke intervened with an uppercut from beneath the ground, in which Ketchup mimicked. Smoke recovered and used his rocket jets beneath his feet to change trajectory and charge toward the blood-red assassin. Su Hao blasted his artificial heart's laser, nearly melting the skin off the special forces. Intimidated, Cabal took on the lead, with his super speed making the traitor dizzy before sacking him with his elongated hook swords, provided by Su's former associate Mavado. It was thanks to them that the former Black Dragon against the Red Dragon agent that he had the upper hand, both literally and metaphorically. Lao took up the vicious Baraka mano a mano in the intro, until the latter spread out his lethal arm blades. Lao retaliated with his hat tricks and possessed it both as a sword and shield, unless if he were to rely on his tornado and whirlwind kicks or Shaolin drop. Baraka countered as he diced one of Lao's legs, making the former monk vulnerable. He was about to make him mincemeat till he was impaled in the back from above. By a tremendous leap, two extended blades yanked out belonging to the time-displaced Tarkatan, only to have him nearly be blinded by an acid spray on his face. The impact made him roll back, and the dirt stomached the sting, when he made out his former ally, Reptile! Recuperating a little from Aiko's gem, Kung Lao was re-energized and found another nearby enemy. Serena met up with Quan, who was merciless on the so-called traitor. Despite wearing the Lin Kuei and Cobalt armor, she was still weakened. Quan rose a few undead assailants and Jack rushed in and bashed through. He charged, but missed, as Quan teleported before he was sacked from behind. Stryker tased him, but was taken down seamlessly. The Oni was engulfed by a blinding ray of light from aloft sent by Ashra. That was until she was impacted by a female vampire. So, we got Natara back. "You usurper! You're the one who created genocide to my clan! That accursed dagger made you insane! I used it to slay demons! That accursed Tatusha must be surrendered! You never worked for a greater good! You mean to destroy us all! With her rage in her mouth dropping with venom, dripping, Natora attacked the goddess. Jax was meanwhile busy with the familiar Oni, Moloch, attempting to disable his ball and chain, while Johnny assisted against Draman. I hope he doesn't relieve his mask. Sonya was hit by Jarek numerous times before being confronted by Kai. Havoc was also dealing with his counterpart, Hataru. Like how Chaos versus Order should be, Dairu and Darius were actually hesitant, as if they had some out-of-body experiences and seemed to at times hit each other in a dazed stupor, while Rain was at a disadvantage by Frost. Shao Kahn was using his warhammer plowing through any combatant who would dare to be in his way, ally or otherwise, even Melina. He then cornered both Sindel and Ermac, while Jade kept Tanya at bay. Onaga was simply circling the battlefield, while Shang had his hands full against Fujin till Lulu kicked him away. Kenshi was even matched with Raiko, as was Nightwolf with Quan, like how the shaman was against him back at Shang's palace. Lu helped the wing god up, and the elementals were ambushed by Shinnok from the air. Ugh! Shinnok has escaped! We must have used the antimatter! I do not see the amulet! Go help Kung Lao! I will deal with him, brother! Liu Kang! Liu Kang! The champion of Mortal Kombat! You seem to be more powerful than we last met! You seem to be powerless without your amulet! Once Armageddon follows through, I won't need it! He closed in with a bicycle kick in which Shinnok blocked but was stunned on impact. He then used his staff as a shield, although Lu's moves left decent marks. Their projectiles bounced each other off until he was surprised him with lightning. You're combined with Raiden! Lu performed an aerial tackle and shocked the Umbra Kinetic. Shinnok was brutal, but thanks to the merged god of fire and thunder, Shinnok was just taken down before Taven made a sneaky smack onto him. He, Fujin, and Lao noticed their partner, who changed drastically. Liu Kang! I am. Oh.
And I am not.
What happened to him?
Bound to my soul. Made me a god.
God?
For now,
is that possible? Taven was taken aback. A god merging with a mortal. Now I'm out of your league. You can still be assistants to us, Taven, but it is not possible for a mortal to defeat the fire spawn. As a newly god and pyrokinetic, I can endure his fatal flames. I can outmatch him as I had with my former enemies. We must stop Armageddon. Suddenly the four men felt violent tremors as the earth shook. Keeping their balance, they beheld the pyramid finally breaching the surface little by little. It is here. The Pyramid of Argus. Everyone held the sudden emergence from beneath the dead earth. And soon, the tip began to burst into flames as if a volcano had erupted. Stryker made the sucker punch onto Rain instead of Melina, and the combatants rushed up much to Lu's dismay. No! It was a brawl fest to see who could reach the pyromaniac. Liu Kang, Fujin, Taven, and Kung Lao remained still. The godly hybrid knew all too well who it belonged to, as the monstrosity roared, his being scorching in a blinding light. He's here! Taven's voice was caught in his throat. Lu urged his allies to step back as they watched Bo' Rai Cho, Kamadai, and others take a fight to the death. As much as Lao, Taven, and Fujin were compelled to help their comrades, Lu urged them to stay put. My destiny is to slay him! He'll doom us all! That may be, but you must remember what Oren said. Cairo told me he instructed it's all a death trap. We mustn't be tied to the hands of fate. Every man is responsible for their own destiny. My brother knew that. A mortal may not be possible to decimate the fire spawn. The Wind God was worried. Taven hesitated, but he took in Lu's strategy. Taven, Kung Lao, Fujin, we must protect the pyramid from our adversaries. I shall deal with Blaze. The trio nodded in affirmation, and I had to make the cliffhanger here. The idea with the Nether Wing was an idea I found on Twitter by some fan, forgot who it was, but it's about time the Nether ship had an upgrade. Also, I wanted to give the revelation of Melina before the story ends. She had to do something with Chameleon. I knew that Taven was supposed to beat Blaze, but after the reboot came out, I didn't see the point, especially on how Armageddon ended, and it was just sheer hell putting everything together. And there are the songs, yada yada. Also, since I was never a fan, Kano and Mavado shall be cut since they weren't mentioned in Armageddon. Well, actually they were, but not in the intro, just Conquest, which is relevant. So they might as well be buried within the Red Dragon Caverns. Sorry I had to cut this short, guys. There's a lot going on, and I didn't want it to drag on for too long. So part 2 shall be up shortly for the true series finale! Yes! I can't wait to do this! Until then, this is the Ekron Writer signing out, and I can't wait to end this.